A trader's results are determined not by their strategy, but by the story they tell themselves about who they are. This truth has been proven over and over by every trader who ever made it through the wreckage of early failure to arrive at consistency. Mark Douglas spent decades studying it. Jesse Livermore paid for it with 4 bankruptcies. And every profitable trader alive today had to confront one uncomfortable reality before the market finally rewarded them. Your identity is your edge, or your destruction. But if that is true, why do so many traders keep repeating the same mistakes? Why do they have the knowledge, the strategy, the setup, and still blow the account? Why does the same person who studies discipline continue to abandon it at the worst possible moment? Today's story will answer those questions. And it will do it in a way no chart pattern ever could. Stay until the end. What you are about to hear is worth more than any indicator you have ever bought. Part 1. The Trader at the Screen. There was once a Forex trader who opened his terminal every morning with the same quiet desperation. He had been at this for 2 years. He had studied. He had watched hundreds of hours of content. He had purchased 2 courses, followed 7 signal providers, read 3 books on technical analysis, and rebuilt his strategy more times than he could count. And still, the account bled. Not catastrophically. That would have at least felt decisive. It bled the way a slow leak empties a tank. Steadily. Quietly. Oh, until one morning you look at the number on the screen and you realize that 2 years of effort have produced nothing but a smaller balance and a heavier doubt. Every morning he sat down with a plan, and almost every morning, somewhere between the plan and the execution, something went wrong. He would see a setup that matched his criteria and hesitate until the move was gone. Then, frustrated at missing it, he would jump into the next move without waiting for confirmation. He would size up on trades he felt certain about and size down on the disciplined ones. He would move his stop-loss when price approached it. He would exit winners early because the profit felt fragile. He would hold losers long past their invalidation point because closing the trade meant admitting he was wrong. He knew all of this, and he could describe every mistake with clinical precision. He had journaled it. He had analyzed it. He had promised himself, on dozens of separate occasions, that tomorrow would be different. Tomorrow was never different. One afternoon, after closing out a loss that should have been cut an hour earlier, he sat back from the screen and asked himself a question he had been avoiding for a long time. What kind of trader am I? And the honest answer, the answer he had never allowed himself to speak aloud, came back quietly and without mercy. I am a losing trader. That is what I am. Part 2. The question nobody asks. That same week, at a trading meetup he almost did not attend, he found himself sitting next to a trader he had seen mentioned in a few online communities. As not a celebrity, not a guru, just a quiet man with a reputation for consistency that had lasted 7 years. He decided to ask him the question that had been sitting in his chest since that afternoon. I know what I'm supposed to do. I just cannot seem to do it. What am I missing? The consistent trader looked at him for a moment before responding. What do you believe you are? The question confused him. He had asked about execution, about discipline, about the gap between knowledge and behavior. The consistent trader continued. You said you know what you are supposed to do, but that is not the real problem. The real problem is that somewhere inside you, you do not believe you are the kind of trader who does those things. You believe you are a struggling trader, and so you execute like one. The market does not respond to what you know. It responds to what you are willing to become. He sat with that for a long time. I have been trading as if I am trying to prove I can win, the consistent trader said. But the traders who last are not trying to prove anything. They have already decided who they are. The decisions follow naturally. A disciplined trader does not have to fight to honor their stop-loss. They honor it because that is simply what disciplined traders do. The identity comes first. The behavior follows. The losing trader left that evening with the same account balance he had arrived with. But something had shifted. Not in his strategy, not in his system. In the question he was now willing to ask. Not what do I need to learn, but who do I need to become? And Part 3, the experiment. He did not change his strategy. He did not buy another course. He did not switch brokers or time frames or currency pairs. He changed one thing only. Every morning before opening his terminal, he sat quietly for 5 minutes and asked himself a single question. What would a consistently profitable trader do today? Not what do I want to do? Not what does the feed say? Not what does the urgency in my chest demand? What would a consistently profitable trader do? It felt strange at first, almost theatrical. He was not a consistently profitable trader. He knew that. His account history confirmed it. But he kept asking the question. When a setup appeared that half-matched his criteria and the old impulse to enter fired in his body, he paused. What would a consistently profitable trader do? They would wait for full confirmation. He waited. When price moved against his position and the familiar voice rose up. Just move the stop, just give it more room. He paused. What would a consistently profitable trader do? They would honor the level they identified before emotion entered the room. He honored it. When a trade hit its target and the urge to stay in, to squeeze for more, whispered that he was leaving money on the table, he paused. What would a consistently profitable trader do? They would take the planned exit and document the trade cleanly. He exited. The results did not transform overnight. This is not that kind of story. But something else happened first, something quieter and more durable than a winning streak. His decisions began to feel different. Not because they were producing different outcomes yet, because they were coming from a different place. They were no longer reactions. They were expressions of an identity he was slowly, deliberately, constructing one decision at a time. Part 4. The Return. 6 months later, at the same trading meetup, the two men saw each other again. The consistent trader looked at him and immediately noticed something he could not fully name. The man across from him was the same person. Same face. Same account size, roughly. But the posture was different. The eyes were different. There was no desperation in them anymore. There was something quieter there. Something settled. How has it been? The consistent trader asked. The trader thought for a moment before answering. I stopped trying to fix my strategy. I started trying to fix my identity. Every morning I asked myself what a profitable trader would do in my situation. And then I did that thing. Not because I felt like it, because that is who I decided I was going to be. The consistent trader nodded slowly. And the results? The trader paused again. The results are coming. They are not dramatic yet, but they are consistent. And for the first time in 2 years, I trust myself in the market. Not because I have found the perfect system, because I know who I am when I sit down at that terminal. The consistent trader extended his hand. Then you are no longer a struggling trader, he said. You just had to see yourself differently. The lesson. The market does not know your name. It does not know your history. Yes, it does not know how many accounts you have blown, or how many strategies you have abandoned, or how many times you have promised yourself that this month would be different. The market only sees your behavior, and your behavior is a direct reflection of who you believe yourself to be. If you believe you are the kind of trader who panics, you will execute with panic. If you believe you are the kind of trader who chases, you will chase. If you believe, even quietly, even beneath the surface of conscious thought, that you are not capable of consistency, then consistency will remain just out of reach no matter how refined your setup becomes. The trader who finally breaks through is not the one who found the right indicator. It is the one who decided, clearly and without negotiation, who they were going to be at the terminal. And then acted from that identity day after day until the market had no choice but to reflect it back. Your thoughts are not just thoughts. In trading, they are architecture. They shape the decisions, and the decisions shape the account, and the account eventually tells you the truth about who you have been all along. Change who you are at the screen. Your results will follow. They have no other choice. If this story landed for you, if you recognized yourself somewhere in that trader sitting at the screen, wondering why knowledge alone was never enough, drop a comment below and tell me what kind of trader you have decided to become. Not what strategy you trade, who you are when you trade it. Subscribe if you have not already. Share this with a trader who is stuck in the cycle of knowing and not doing. Like the video if it gave you something worth carrying into your next session. The market is waiting, and now you know exactly who to bring to it.